So that's the water cache. I don't know if you can see it, but there are a lot of chunks of ice in there. I'm like perfectly in between these two trees to get sun on me. I believe that was the coldest night/morning on the trail. Woke up at the usual time. There's a woodpecker somewhere. 3:30, 3:45. And I had hand warmers already. I was like kind of holding them, moving around in the bag. And you could feel the draft coming through the floor, coming through the sleeping pad, which is, I have a big Agnes, and I did see a review video that said a big negative is that it's not as warm as it's actually rated. I forget what the R value is, but could not, even when I woke up and got out of the tent, like made coffee, and I was sitting there like, you know, not really like shivering, but like enough. And just getting out of my sleeping clothes into these clothes, like this is the first time I've kept the beanie on to hike in the morning and the jacket. I got gloves. It was just frigid. So I'm gonna keep moving. I'm probably draining this battery too much, but at least I'm in the sun. I'm gonna turn it off. I know what I gotta do for the day. I will take a break somewhere in the middle. There's a shelter. It's almost perfectly in the middle of the hike, but 20.9 miles. I've only done a few. It's 8:30. So as usual, got my miles cut out for me. And yeah, just wanted to report what a cold night. And just morning, really. Like, you know, a little bit cold in the bag, tossing and turning, but then I could fall back asleep and dreaming hard. But man, this morning, packing up, doing everything this morning just sucked. I could not get warm. I'm still, with that sun on me, not really warm. It's gonna take, I gotta climb, so I'm actually thankful for that. Hopefully by then I'll delayer a little bit. So that is the story, and I got a long day hiking, one more night in the cold at a shelter. Tomorrow night, oh, it's getting closer. Town food, hotel. I can't be more excited being this cold about getting indoors and getting a hot meal, and that's what's motivating me right now. All right, let me update you. It's been a while, conserving battery, but I just busted out the battery pack, got this thing up to like 35%, which isn't a lot, but it was below 10. My other phone, service phone, if I'm gonna call it, is at like 40 something, and I've really just been using it to check far out occasionally and turning it right back off. Sent out one text just to let the girlfriend know I'm still alive, and close to halfway for the day. There's a shelter in about a mile or so, mile and a half maybe. Choco Laco, I think that's actually the name of it, and that'll be about halfway, I think a little bit more. So saw a woman's section hiking. I was catching up to her and I was like, oh my god, a person. So we stopped and chatted for probably about 20 minutes. She was like trying to let me go. I was like, seriously? I was like, if you don't mind talking. I haven't seen anyone in 2 days, so that was nice. Then saw her husband coming up from the trailhead. There's a road crossing, like Rabbit something. And he was like, hey, did you see her? I was like, yeah. He's like, all right, I just want to make sure I didn't miss her. It's like, no, she's not far back. And he goes, hey, there's only one water in the water cache, but don't feel bad about taking it because I'm gonna go to the car and put more in. I was like, oh, thank you. I have had over a liter and a third, let's call it. So I chugged about half a liter, but I was doing it before I saw him. I literally pulled the bottle out and started drinking as I saw him coming around the corner. So as I'm getting to the road crossing in the water cache, some guy walking his dog on a leash, clearly is parked at the trailhead, sees me. I'm pretty far off in the distance, but I can see him, looks at me, quickly grabs the water out of the water cache and just scurries away off the trail down to the, I guess it was a parking lot there, the trailhead parking lot, which was slightly off the trail. I didn't go over that way because I didn't have a reason to. I wasn't exactly sure that that's what he did, but I was like, is he taking the last water? And he was still in the distance. I should have just yelled, be like, hey, I don't need the water. I have enough. I probably would have just chugged it and left it how they leave the garbages. But just when you want to see people, I was so happy to see that woman and her husband. And then this douche, I mean, he knew I was coming. It was like a third grader, but like, no, mine. And just scurried off because he didn't want any interaction. He wanted to just do it. Yeah. So there's that. Thank you to whoever the coffee shop, I think it's Brandon in the reviews, has been leaving them. So I probably just burned 10% of my battery. But I'm pretty good on battery, I think. I'll try to film a little bit with this 35% I have, because I really haven't got any shots of the trail. But really just been walking through woods. Couple spots I would have loved to pull it out and get some footage, but I didn't. So that is that. That's where I'm at. I got half a day, so I'm 2.5 days into hiking of this 4-day section, and one more night. And oh man, I'm starting to think when I get into Heflin, Alabama, what I'm gonna eat. I don't know what there is. I'm too far out to look at places, but I'm gonna go to a restaurant and I can't wait to eat food. So past noon, probably around 12:30, and I don't want to stop, but it went from so frigid cold this morning, breaking camp, having coffee at sunrise, to pretty damn warm. Like, I could be in shorts and a t-shirt if I wanted to stop and change, but I don't. And I'm also going to be hiking into the hours where the temperature drops and I'd have to change again. So there's that. Shelter ahead. I might as well show you this. See it down there? I don't know if you can. It's like straight ahead. I have a long day, so not worth my effort. I'm going to a shelter tonight. That is Choco Laco. I want to call it Choco Taco, but beautiful area. Similar as yesterday, going over like a dam that has the water there where it comes in, and then outlet that way, inlet outlet. And it is a beautiful day. It really has warmed up. I hope that means tomorrow. I know it's gonna be cold, but I mean, just 5 degrees warmer in the morning, I would really appreciate that. So yeah, I'm gonna bypass looking at the shelter. I'm going to Laurel Shelter, which the comments seem that it's got nice water supply right there, which is the first for the 3 shelters that I'm staying at during this stretch. The other ones you had to carry water, which wasn't too bad, but looking forward to that. And everyone says it's a nice shelter, so I've been happy with them so far. It is just stunning through here. This is awesome. I really enjoyed it. Probably my favorite piece of this trail that I've done in a while. Definitely on this push, but this is just awesome. Sun glaring through, still warm, birds. Every once in a while you get some peepers that chime up because it's got warm enough. So hoping this temperature holds, and obviously I know it's gonna get cold, but hopefully this warmer day leads to a warmer evening and morning. That would be nice. That one looks like it. Oh, film when I get closer. I don't know if you're allowed in. Looks like I could have. Probably gonna take a seat. I don't have too long to sit, but I think I have enough. Garbage, that could be useful. All right, charge this thing up for like 10, 12 minutes and got my socks and my shoes off for like 10, 12 minutes, rubbed them, and it felt good. Try not to walk on any graves. I don't know the trail that it comes in on. And yeah, got 1.8 miles to go and it's like just past 4. So should be able to get there without a headlamp, kind of just in time in that sense. So that is what I'm gonna do. It's pretty big. Pretty big. Made it. Laurel Mountain Shelter, I believe is the name. 20.9 for the day. I'll get a better video of it when I'm done talking, but yeah, 20.9 for the day. Third of 4 legs to get into Heflin, Alabama are done. Tomorrow is leg number 4. Tonight's night number 3. And then I will hopefully, I didn't really get a good stretch with service, but hopefully be staying at the hotel that's in Heflin. I'm going to make a call for that, but first I'm going to make a call for Tammy in Far Out. It says she is at the town hall and will give rides. I've read nothing but good things on there. So that is the plan. Once I get service earlier in the day, try to see if I can get a ride in, because I think the spur trail is like 3.7 miles and it's going to be another long one. Not quite as long as today, but 18, 19 in that range. So yeah, ride would be great. Hotel would be great. Food, everything, dinner, I can't wait. So that is where I'm at. I got work to do and it's getting dark fast. So I'm gonna get my headlamp out. I'm gonna get some water. I'm gonna make dinner and set up. And all right, update. I'm gonna not walk for this because that sun is perfectly in my face. And it's beautiful. I haven't walked a mile yet from Laurel Shelter, but I'm moving. I'm probably half a mile, maybe a little more. It was another brutally cold night, brutally cold morning. I don't know if it's the sleeping pad or if just my sleeping bag I've used a lot. I used it for the AT as well. It's a 15-degree bag. And yeah, I don't know if it's just like the down from being clumped up so much doesn't space out and do what it needs to do, or I don't know if, as I mentioned in another one, the complaint when I looked at some of the reviews about my sleeping pad was the R value is off. It's not as high. I believe that's correct. It'll be the higher, the more insulation. And I could feel that draft coming up from underneath. So I slept pretty well. Woke up, turned my phone on, checked what time, and it was midnight, like almost exactly midnight. I had probably been asleep since 7:30, so that was a good chunk. But then for hours, I was tossing and turning, and I turned my phone off. I never checked the time again, but it took me a while. I could not get comfortable. I was really cold. I finally did fall asleep, and then woke up at like 5:40 something. So I knew the sun was shortly coming up after, but I didn't get started till like 8:33 was the exact time. I checked my phone. Even though I was up and out of my sleeping bag probably at 6:20, it's just so cold to get warm, to get everything packed up. the last thing I wanted to do is put these damp, they were pretty damp this morning, clothes back on, so I waited till the last minute. And it warms up quick, but the first, man, waiting for that sun, you're looking at some of the trees getting sun, and I was like, come on, I'm down in this little valley where the shelter is. So cold. I mean, what did I expect? I didn't expect it to be this cold, but I picked to do a through hike in December. I understand I'm not in the Northeast, but it's still winter down here. But yeah, it just sucked. 18.9 miles, and I've already knocked off, like I said, probably about a half mile. There's a road that was 6 miles from the shelter, 6.2 maybe, and there's one comment that said, good place to have lunch and Verizon service. So I'm gonna call Tammy, hopefully I can get a ride from the trailhead. Making sure it's still going. Hopefully I can get a ride from the trailhead so I don't have to do the spur, because I'd probably be hiking in the dark if I did. But it seems like she will give rides. She's like the patron saint of Heflin, Alabama, that gets people in there. And then if she can get me a ride, I'll call at the same spot, the hotel, and I'll stay indoors tonight just because I need to sleep in the morning or I'm not tossing and turning from being freezing. Last 2 nights it was like that. And then I will make a plan of what I'm doing after. I want to keep pushing as long as the weather's good. I don't know what the weather is. I have to check. It's been a while. I know the last time I checked was, I think, Sunday night, Monday morning. It said rain moving in Saturday afternoon, but you want to get a little updated forecast. So that is the plan. I'm gonna hike, get warm, hopefully shed some layers. It's finally starting to warm up, but I'm still that cold, gloves on. And yeah, I'm gonna make miles because I'm excited to get into town. Big meal. It's gonna be awesome. And it's warming up. Hat, no puffy. Takes a while. And then it gets nice during the day. But man, from 3 a.m. to 8 a.m., it is damn cold. I believe this Corolla spoke to that gentleman about 3 miles back, maybe 3.5. I'm gonna see if I can get cell service. I called to get a ride, left a message, but my phone's been off the service, so I'm gonna see if I can do that and call the hotel. I called him once, no answer. Yeah, quick break. Song remains the same. Headed that way. I can see the trail. Goes out up that way. Came from there. Kind of swing around. It's literally been like this for hours on end. This is what you've been doing. You cross Forest Service roads occasionally. I don't think I really crossed the main road. There was a campground that I passed in the morning at some point, but that was on another little side road. I don't know if it's a Forest Service road, but I didn't see a single car. So this has been the day. It's been really pretty. It's your typical woods, which East Coast, I don't know, is Alabama still considered East Coast? But being in Colorado the last 10, 11 years, like, I miss this kind of forest. I wouldn't say it's particularly pretty in the winter. But in the summer, when everything gets lush and green, and the sounds of everything, and it's just great. I miss that. I would fight off some bugs and mosquitoes and be sweating with humidity to have that sound and view, and also not toss and turn from being cold from 3 to 8 in the morning. So. Oh, I was in a place to just keep making miles, but this amazing view, a bench, there's a fire ring. You could camp in here. You're a little exposed if it was windy, and it's a little rocky and rooty. There might be, I could probably get away with it with my tent, maybe one other person like that, but yeah, it is warm. I can't believe it's been the story the last 2 days. Super cold in the morning, and then it gets warm. But what a day. All right. So I have a ride at 4:15 that was confirmed. Tammy from City Hall gives rides. I found that out based on far out comments. Closing in, last half mile or so, and yeah, beautiful day. Ride set up at 4:15, and I'll probably be 15 minutes early. There's a sign. I don't think I got there quite yet. Yeah, I think I'm like a half mile short. Yeah. So yeah, that's the trailhead I'm going to, and I'm gonna ask to just get dropped off at the hotel, and I know there's restaurants by the hotel, so as long as the hotel has a room, we're all good. Oh man, what a day. It's been what a 4 days since leaving Cave Spring. Successful push. I feel it. I'm sore. I'm definitely in need of a night indoors. I have a theory on why the last 2 nights might have been colder, but I don't have the energy to hold this phone up anymore and do it. I'll talk about it later. But yeah, definitely ready for a night indoors and a town meal after the last 2 cold nights and cold mornings. All right, I'm gonna finish this out, get a ride, and I'll check back in. All right, I am at the hotel. I got the ride in from Tammy, which was awesome. She offered to drive me around tomorrow to get resupply, go to the town hall or city hall and get your picture taken, sign up to get a certificate, I guess, when you finish your hike, and then also bring me back to the trailhead. I kind of have a lot of stuff to do. I keep remembering things that I need to get done tomorrow, so I want to go get a meal and get to bed early and wake up early because it looks like weather's moving in. I'm gonna, while I have a drink at the restaurant I go to before the food comes, I'm gonna kind of make a loose plan, or a more concrete plan. Right now I have a loose one, I should say. So it is 56 miles, I believe, hiking miles, to get to Talladega, where there's a hostel. I can do that in 2 nights if I get enough hiking tomorrow, 3 days. Yeah, basically I just mumbled that I don't have an official plan, but I have an idea with the weather. I want to see how bad the weather is. The rain, the temperatures are low, kind of study that. So I'm going to bring my phone, my charger, and sit there, order some food. And then, as I said, I want to, regardless of what I do tomorrow, whether I hike, as early as I can, or whether I just push it back and say I'm not hiking till noon, I need to wake up and get stuff done. Personal stuff, trails, everything. There's a few things I need to do before I go back out. And that's where I'm at.